think I have to.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. How's
I think
everyone
I have to have
doing?
a Kleenex.
Oh, goodness. It's me, Mackenzie, with Couch Potato Queens. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are joined tonight by the fabulous, the one, the only, the OG, Kim Mattina.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. Oh my gosh. And what a night.
So, anyone who does not know, Kim is from, if you know way back when, Sequester Access. First season, she was runner-up for first season. Sequester 2.0, that was on YouTube series. She won season 2 of that. And then she was just on Deal or No Deal Island season 1. And she is, and hold on, let me pull up this quote because I want to make sure I quote it correctly. As Boston Rob called you, the most dangerous player in the game. So
Yeah.
I think that's like really good street cred right there.
I think it's going to be on my Christmas card this year. Merry Christmas, everybody. Love the most dangerous player in the game.
I'm sad after tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm so sad. Angela had a place in my heart. She was definitely emotional and she was messy and all of those wonderful things. But as a viewer, yeah, I'm very sad. As a fan of the strategy, it ended up the way that Chelsea wanted it, which was good for Chelsea, but it was not, I didn't think it was the right move to begin with. So
no, I don't think it's a good move for Mackenzie. It definitely wasn't a good move for Mackenzie or her game. No. It only benefited Chelsea. So, but you know, this is the season of expect the unexpected. Like if any other season, this is the season of expect the unexpected. So my fingers are crossed that somebody gets power next week and puts Chelsea's ass on the block and gets her out.
But what did you think of, well, I don't know. Are you going to start at the beginning of the show with Leah's eviction or?
Yeah, let's start there. So if anybody didn't know, you know, Leah went home.
Unanimously.
I mean, you know, I get it, but, you know, I don't know. I like Leah, and I didn't think I would be saying that I liked Leah. Like, if you had asked me a month ago, I'd have been like, screw Leah, get her out. Now I like Leah.
But here's the thing, again, that was so orchestrated by Chelsea. That was definitely her move to claim. I don't think getting Leah out helped Mackenzie or Cam. Definitely not Angela. It did not help. Really, it didn't help Rubina or Chemo either. So I think that, you know, she did a great job in orchestrating it and doing what she had to do for her game, but it was only for her game. And they still don't see it because she literally told them all to vote out Angela.
Yep. Well, and you know, the other thing that I don't get is Chelsea is focusing too much on the house and what this week or what's going on. She's not focused whatsoever on jury management. And if she lasts much longer or she gets to the final, that's going to bite her in the ass, I'm afraid.
I personally, I think she's going to go out at 4.
Yeah.
Because right now, who's competing for HOH? Chemo, who's won 1 POV. I don't count the AI because it's only against 2 other people. So Chemo has now won his first comp being a POV. Cam, who has won 1 POV. Rubina, who has won nothing. And Mackenzie, who is following whatever.
She won Tucker's heart.
Huh?
She won Tucker's heart.
That's true. That's true. And then you got Mackenzie, who is really the only comp threat playing now for at Final Five. And she's, even though I think she was starting to wake up a little bit on the feeds about Chelsea, she's still following what Chelsea says to do.
Yeah, I agree. The best chance is if she gets power again and she wins the HOH this next week, because no one else really has the balls to be able to win it. So, Mackenzie may win it, and if she does and uses that as an opportunity to back toward Chelsea, but Chelsea's she's in her ear too much, and she's But I think now that Angela's gone, that Leah's gone, I'm hoping that Mackenzie's eyes will open up and she will actually start playing this game.
Yeah, they talked about it on the feeds, and I think she realizes that she's not winning against Chelsea. She knows that. But will she do anything about it? Or will she shoot her shot in a final two against her? Which would be so dumb. But yeah.
Let's see. Somebody said, coming earlier, Joseph Boza said, AKA because Kim would not kiss Boston Rob's ass.
I did not puck her up at all.
I think you were one of the only ones.
Huh?
I think you were one of the only ones.
Well, at the beginning, yes, I was. But Stephanie and I were really close. I filled Stephanie in on everything I knew the night before I left, because I figured one of two things is happening. Either Rob is gone or I'm gone. There was no in between. And if I was going to be leaving, I wanted Stephanie to have as much ammunition as she could. And if I was staying in the game, Stephanie and I were fully aligned. She had to know everything. So yeah, about 4:00 in the morning, while everyone was snoozing, Steph and I were over by the showers, and I was giving her all the dirt.
Somebody asked, how long did you film Deal or No Deal Island for before you got eliminated?
I was actually in the camp for just barely over a week. Actually a little bit longer than that, maybe about 10 days. And then I was out, but they kept us all there in Panama for the finale. So I had basically about a 10-day vacation. It was wonderful. Went out on catamarans. We had a private chef. It was like below deck out there. Nice. They took us to a private island that was uninhabited. Nobody lived there. There's no power, no nothing. Went out and played with the dolphins one afternoon. Went to a cocoa island where they grow cocoa, and everything was chocolate. It was glorious. So it was good.
Not to give anything away, but after me knowing you and having played a game with you, and whenever you were facing the banker the first time, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Because I knew they were underestimating you.
Yeah.
And that was your strength with them underestimating you.
Yes. Unfortunately, Rob had me clocked as soon as I went back out and got the red case that was the steel case. And they cut a lot out because it looks like I just went, okay, who has the $1 million case? I'm going to steal it and I'll protect you. In reality, before that, I was like, okay, whoever has the $1 million case, speak up, because, I'm going to steal it, but I will protect you, blah, blah, blah. Dawson didn't say a word, and I did not know who had it. And then I turned around and I was like, okay. While I was out there stuck in the mud, I was able to see who went up on the dock, up on the platform first, and second, and third, and fourth, and fifth. And I know that you wouldn't have gone on the platform if you did not have a good case. Yep. So Dawson, Alyssa, Branson, Rob, and Alyssa were the first 5 that were up on the platform. That's like, so whoever has $1 million, if you don't speak up, it will be one of the 5 of you, and it'll be random, and you'll be in the bottom 2. And that's when Dawson spoke up.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to piss off the other 4, which was the whole point behind me saying that, was so that he wouldn't. And then, it is what it is. As soon as I did that, Rob was like, she's a gamer. She's trouble. She is big trouble. He knew it. He had me clocked.
Well, and some people like to paint you as the villain. I don't say that you were the villain of it. If you were the villain of it, you would have taken, whenever you told Dawson, hey, I'll protect you, whatever, you would have just told Dawson he was fine. And then he would have gone up there and say, Dawson, come on up.
Yep, exactly. I would have put, because we didn't know how the game would go against the banker before the first temple. And if I were a villain, I would have just turned around and put Dawson up against the banker. But I didn't do that. If I were a villain, I would have told Jamil he was completely safe and then picked him to go home and blindsided him. I had plenty of villain opportunities.
Yeah.
But I didn't make villain plays. I mean, I was up front with them, Nick or Jamil. They both knew.
Being a villain and playing a very good game and being very strategic.
Absolutely. And both Nick and Jamil, they figured, they're like, well, Kim's sleeping in the girls' tent. She's not going to put any of the girls up, and she can't put up Rob or Aaron. So therefore, she's going to put up Nick or Jamil. And so they knew it would be one of the 2 of them. And I felt like Nick was a little more pliable in working with. And the second Jamil beelined it out to the water, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and all of a sudden everyone goes and turns around and looks right at me. I'm up in the gazebo, and they looked right at me. And it's like, okay, that would be Jamil telling Rob that I just brought up his name.
Sophie Duffy said, I think you would have won it, and I think you were more entertaining than Angela. And Joseph Bosa also said Kim is much more entertaining than Angela.
Oh, thank you so much, Sophie and Joseph. Angela, I have found to be extremely entertaining. I probably wouldn't have gotten quite as personal as she did. I can't imagine myself calling someone crazy eyes. But then again, I wasn't in the pressure cooker that she was. And I'm sorry, but her impersonation of Jennifer Coolidge was so spot on. I loved it. I loved it.
I didn't agree with Angela's. Excuse me, I'm still getting over a cold. I didn't agree with Angela's personal attacks. I don't think anybody did.
No.
But there's something special. And I say this as someone who has never been in that situation of a pressure cooker like that, but to watch a grown woman melt down and go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs crazy and just spiral.
Oh, she fucking lost her mind in there many, many times and was so emotional about it. And I get emotional also. Okay. I don't play emotionally, but I get emotional. And I'm sure I probably would have had a tear or 10 while being in there. But man, she melted down.
Joseph said, I'm not kissing butt. I never missed an episode when Kim was on. And then I lost interest when Rob caught her out.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, Joseph, I really appreciate you saying that. It was really difficult when the episodes were airing because, of course, the Rob mob is very vocal. And don't get me wrong, I appreciated Rob as a player when he was on Survivor, even the first time he was on The Amazing Race. But I also know that Rob is, he can be a very devious player and hides it behind that boyish grin that makes everyone go, oh, Rob wouldn't do that. Yeah, Rob would do that. I can promise you Rob would do that. And so that made it a little bit difficult to get the people that hadn't seen Rob play more than a few minutes worth of video clips on YouTube to know what kind of strategy, and the fact that it's the same thing every time. His very first confessional, I remember he went off to the confessionals, and I said, right now, I can guarantee you, Rob is saying they should get me out first, but they never do. Sure enough, that got aired because he said that before. It was such a repeat of
Rob. It's just like all of these other games, like the Traders. You had Sari on the Traders, and everyone knew how Sari had played Survivor. Yet everyone's like, "Oh, magically she's going to be different."
Yeah.
You know? Or Xavier, who won Big Brother, and he's on the Anonymous right now.
The Anonymous right now.
And everyone knows this is a Big Brother winner, but yet you're just letting him have a pass because, you know, and we know really, how people are playing these games. So you've got to keep that strategy. It doesn't mean that you don't appreciate them as a player or their strategy, but you know
that Sari is going to be the most social person out there, and everyone's going to love Sari. And that's the reason why you should get her out. Like Rob or any of the rest of them, you know how they play. So why are you going to leave them in? Now, I felt really bad because in the second episode when I took out Jamil, but because it was weakening Rob. Okay.
Yeah.
But on the episode when Rob won and sent me home, I mean, Amy said for a while, I knew I shouldn't have done that. I should have put you in, Kim, because I was saying the same thing. It's like, put me in to play the banker. Just let me play the banker. And Rob talked her into it. And that, that made it tough. But, why did he take me out? Because I don't think he was necessarily scared of me. And again, they didn't show it.
The fact that his charm was not working on you.
Yes, exactly. And again, they didn't show it, but leading up to Temple that night, and I told Rob, I said, getting rid of me is ridiculous. Why don't you get rid of one of the middle people, one of the floaters, because the odds of me winning a challenge are very, very low. I'm probably going to be in the bottom two basically every time. The odds of you winning are very, very high. You can take me out at any time, or we can work together. And do I expect you to trust me? No more than I trust you. But that doesn't mean we can't work together for a while. So I really did try and talk him into keeping me in the game, knowing he could get me out anytime. But no, that didn't happen. That did not happen. And I think he was more worried about the fact that, no, I wasn't falling for his bullshit. And the fact that I was busy talking to all these other people, Stephanie, Amy, Miranda, especially Nick. Finally had Nick on board with us. And he did not like that I was kind of rallying the troops, That's his MO. And the fact that someone kind of turned that on him. Yeesh.
Joseph Collins said, Angela handled that way better than any of these armchair quarterbacks on Twitter. Every one of them would have been eating out of the HOH toilet and giggling. She moderated her crazy.
Absolutely. And no matter what anyone says, yes, a lot of that's an act because she was able to turn it on and off like a light switch. Her crazy versus her rational decisions versus the only thing I did not like was her argument every week was, how bad I want to be here. Well, she wasn't pulling out any strategic reasons why they should keep her there. Everybody wanted to be there, so that was the one flaw I saw when she would have like one-on-ones, and I've never seen so many one-on-ones as this season. Yeah, exactly.
I love how she just walked out tonight, though, and just basically took a bow to the high.
She did, and I thought that her conversation with Julie was amazing. Yeah, I mean, and all of them have been pretty humble when they've gotten out there. Even though, well, Angela wasn't exactly humble, as she's saying, I will beat everybody. I would have beat everybody. That's why they got rid of me. And you know what? It's true.
Yep.
It's true. She would have beat Rabina. She would have beat Chemo easily, the two of them. She would have beat, huh?
And Cam.
And Cam, absolutely. As far as Mackenzie and Chelsea, she would have beat both of them because of jury management. Horrible by Mackenzie. Oh my God, I'll sit against her in a final two any day of the week.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, I'd say, is the only one who has a chance would have had a chance to beat her. And even with that, Chelsea has pissed off a lot of people. She's had awful jury management also.
Yep. Joseph said the Queens have not been on for a few weeks. Last week I was out of town. We didn't have anyone to help co-host, so that's why we weren't on last week. Sorry. But they want to know what our thoughts are on the news that Dr. Will not be hosting the jury roundtable.
You want to take the lead?
I'm glad, honestly. I'm tired of Dr. Will being there every single time because it's a different Big Brother. If we were playing old school Big Brother, I wouldn't mind him moderating it. But to me, we've gone from strategy and being a master of this game to just...
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that the jury roundtable can be entertaining and draw some information out of the jurors. And I felt like Dr. Will was just kind of done with that. He was just kind of asking fluff questions. I think that I would love to see Rob Cesternino's sense of humor in it. God, his backyard interviews were spectacular.
Yeah.
But I think who I would have loved to have seen is Arissa Cox.
Yeah.
Because Arissa pulled no punches when people were evicted from the BB Can house. I think that Arissa doing the jury roundtable would have been amazing. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see who ends up doing it.
I feel like this season's so boring now that with the jury that they can just do it themselves. I mean, and keep it a 5-minute segment.
Yeah, there's not going to be right now. I don't foresee any drama in the jury. I think that hopefully T-Core has resigned herself to the fact that she is in there. Leah's going to buddy up with Quinn. You know she's going to be looking for the size of that package and the bow that's wrapping it. And Angela, that kind of leaves Angela and T-Core. T-Core came right out and said on the feeds, I don't want to talk to her. I don't want her phone number. I'm not going to talk to her after the show. And now Angela's there. And Angela with Leah and Quinn during the day when they're not at night will be hanging out together. And I hate to see her being alienated, but dang, she brought that on herself.
She really did. And
wait, hold on, Shannon. You said Cody Calafiore said that he is the roundtable host. When did he say that? I haven't heard that.
No. Hold on, let me go and look at his Twitter and see. Did he
I
say he
think,
was or that he would? I think he did say
yeah,
that he would do
I
it.
think he said that he would, and he wants to
Yeah,
do it.
Joseph said he tweeted on X he wants to do it, and people said hell no.
Yeah, because I don't think they've got him on there to do it, but it would not surprise me because Allison G absolutely loves Cody. So it would
I
not
could see
surprise
her.
me.
I could see it being one of the three that came back: Cody, Jag, or Taylor, since that's who they had do the season recap at the beginning after the
You,
Olympics.
you know what, though? But that was my opinion. I thought that was horrible.
Oh, it
When
was.
that was like the worst 30 minutes of airtime I've seen.
I think it was 90
And
minutes, wasn't it?
huh?
It was a 90-minute special.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
God.
it never ended. It was just like on and on and on. It was like
Yeah.
watching. I would have rather have watched paint dry, honestly.
And and I like Taylor, but Taylor was not good. Um, eh, I I can deal with Jag, but I know a lot of people don't like him, but I can deal with Jag, and he wasn't good. And Cody, I thought was awful. If I were to pick someone, it'd be Arissa would be my number one pick. My number two pick would probably be I know it's not a popular decision, but Derek, I think, no, number two would be Danielle Reyes.
Yeah, yeah,
And actually, I would love to see Danielle and Jason together
yeah.
hosting the round table. I think the two of them together would be wonderful. And then my number three would probably be Derek. And I
Just
didn't,
amen, Kim. It was a complete ass. I wasted an hour of my life, and I will never get it back.
yeah,
Shannon is saying that he said that on the winner's circle that he was definite.
yeah. And you're right, Joseph. Danielle is the reason why the jury's sequestered because she should have won. She would have won, except the jury got to watch everything.
Yep.
And that was awful. That was awful. So,
And Shannon, I feel like Cody likes to say a lot of things that may or may not necessarily be factual.
yeah.
Allegedly.
I don't, I don't, like I said, it would not surprise me if he does, but I don't think that's going to happen.
There's so
I
many
just,
more. There's so many better, people that they could pick than him.
oh, yeah, exactly. But so can we kind of fast forward from after Leah's eviction and they had the HOH comp and in a tiebreaker because Angela doesn't know how to math very good. Hello. Okay, you got to figure he
Maybe
was in
it's
there for a
Chelsea.
week, right? Janky was there for about a week. Hello. 24 hours a day times 7 days times 60 minutes per hour. There's your math formula. And she comes up with 15,000. Even if she had,
You also have 1,440 minutes in a day.
yeah,
So 1,400 times 7 because you're out
that's
there.
9,800 right there.
Yep.
And guess
The
what?
math ain't
Would have
nothing.
won. It would,
You
Angela.
heard the gasp in the audience too when they saw Angela's answer. They're like, "Oh,
Yes,
oh."
exactly. And I really wanted her to win HOH just to see what she would have done.
I do too.
Personally, me, I would have put up Chelsea and Mackenzie. And if one of them wins POV, put up Cam.
Yep.
And then now you've taken the blood off your hands because you've thrown it all over to Rubina and Chemo to decide. 2 votes eliminates. But I thought it was really, really dumb that she put up Angela and Chemo. And I just kept thinking, okay, I want Angela to come off the block, obviously. That'd be wonderful if she did. But I wanted Rubina to win POV and take Chemo off the block. And then Chelsea would have had to decide between Cam and Mackenzie who goes up against Angela, with the 2 votes being Chemo and Rubina.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing. I would have loved that. But
like Joseph just said, it was insane that after 10 weeks, we finally had a unanimous vote.
It's the first unanimous vote, and we have not yet had the veto not used.
Yep. Thank you, Joseph. We have our super chat from Joseph.
Yay, Joseph.
Angela, Quinn, and Leo will vote as a block. If Chemo or Rubina make it to the end and the other one doesn't, that's 4. That's the ball game. Chelsea cannot win the game against either. She's screwed.
She had such poor jury management. Joseph, you nailed it there. She had such poor jury management. She would lose to Chemo. Chemo hasn't done jack shit, and other than, a combination of Glee and High School the Musical. And between him and Rubina, they're having a great time. But he hasn't done shit as far as gameplay. So she can preach gameplay all she wants, but the bottom line is Chemo was more loved than she was. And if they vote personal, oh my God. Oh my God.
The bad thing too is T-Core's sitting there. And while T-Core and Chelsea were close, you've now got someone who is pissed at Chelsea, going to the jury house and about to tell them for weeks about what a piece of shit Chelsea is for everything she did to him. And so that's going to affect T-Core's vote.
Just wait until Leah and Angela coming in there and tag teaming and letting T-Core and Quinn know how bad Chelsea spoke of them and her intentions. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was something.
Joseph said, Chelsea ain't screwed. People just want her to have adversity because they love how Taylor and 24 had adversity. Chelsea is a mastermind, and people content creators are bitching about it. She's not a mastermind of this game.
She has played strategically. I would say she's had a couple good moves. Okay. I'm not saying that strategically she sucked. Out of the 5 that are remaining, strategically, she's played better than any of those 5. But socially, she has played a horrible game. And now she's got herself positioned right in the middle between Rubina and Chemo and Chelsea and Cam.
Yep.
And she would be smart to get rid, or between Mackenzie and Cam, she would be smart to get rid of either Mackenzie or Cam, because those are her threats as far as the challenges, the competitions. On the other hand, if she gets rid of them, they're going to get rid of her. Chemo, it doesn't matter. I say she goes out 4th place because I could totally see Mackenzie winning here, Chelsea not winning the next HOH, maybe either Cam or Chemo or Rubina winning it, and they will take out Chelsea in the 4th spot, just like it happens every season.
And the problem with Chelsea's game right now is that she is playing a strategic game on some levels, but this is not a strategic season.
No,
it's just not.
Not at all. She's playing chess. The entire rest of the house is playing checkers. They're jumping over each other and making kings and queens. But she's one of them. She's forcing the jumps and leaving them with the power plays, Yep.
Stephen said, tell him Mother Kim, and said, I turned the TV off tonight the moment Julie said Angela was evicted by 2 votes.
I know. I was seriously, I've got my Kleenexes out. I was heartbroken. I would love to have seen Angela argue it at the end, because I think she may not have been able to present the best argument, but she would have presented the most passionate argument. And so often the passion outplays the strategy.
Joseph Collins saying there's no such thing as a bitter jury when it's sequestered. The social game, jury management is a part of it.
100%. And always remember, it's not what they did. It's the way they made you feel when they did it.
Yep.
And the very first sequester, season 1, long online. And as you said, I got second place. Looking back on it, 100%, I deserved the win. Okay. Because there were only 2 times when I could have even been voted out, and got through those 2 times. I was never voted out. But I knew at that time I deserved this win. I owned this game. But I also know that I shit on some people on the way out. And I think it was Deb that said, Kim, there was no humbleness. There was no humility in your final argument to jury. And that cost you the game.
Well, and you remember I came and I asked both of you, I said, what did you learn from this game? And in it you said, well, you laid out all the reasons you should win, but you made no anything to the jury. And Donovan said, well, I made friends. There are people in the jury that I wish it could be, and he acknowledged that. And because of that, that made some people in the jury mad, and myself included. And I did not vote for Kim.
No, you did not.
Should have, because Kim should have won.
I should have won, but
the jury got mad about one little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was I did not have a flawed game. I had a flawed final. And
but when you went in for season 2 of Sequester,
I learned.
Mama was in there. She was left and right, just,
I learned from our online game, Mackenzie, and was like, you know what? I'm fortunate to be in the final 2. I played a hell of a game, but it's because of the people that are sitting on the jury that I played that game. And so I learned that very, very much. And that was all because of our game.
So we, for anyone that doesn't know, Kim and I have played a lot of, orgs, online reality games. It's Big Brother, Survivor on, Twitter or Facebook or, Skype. Sometimes they're live games. Sometimes they're in-person games. But how do you feel playing orgs prepared you to be on Deal or No Deal Island?
You know what? I think that orgs are a great way to prepare to get on any show, not just Deal or No Deal Island, because you learn how to think strategically. You learn how to sincerely connect with people, not just surface level connections, but how to sincerely connect with people. That going into a game blind, it's going to take a few rounds, a couple times here before you kind of catch on to that. And I think that I know that Angela mentioned yesterday or was it yesterday on the feeds or the day? Yeah, yesterday after the summit, Angela watched Deal or No Deal Island.
Yeah.
And her daughter and I message back and forth all the time. And she said the big thing, she watched it because Boston Rob was on there, and she's a huge Survivor fan. She was not rooting for Boston Rob because she felt like he's had too many shots at it, between all the shows that he's been on, and he actually only has 1 win. So, Joseph, have so much fun with that org. Okay. Yes. I just looked over and I saw Joseph Collins. So have fun with it. Get to know the people you're playing with, because you'll remember them and they will remember you. And if you're fortunate enough to get to the end through strategy, through your gameplay, through challenges that give you safety and stuff, just remember those people are the reason that you got to the end. Okay, that's my biggest words of advice. Had I gotten to the end of Deal or No Deal Island, I know it would have been because of Jordan, because of Stephanie would have been the biggest reason for me to get there. Definitely Amy, definitely Nick. Those were my people on there. And because of them, that would have been the reason if I got to play at the very end. By the way, my number is 18 because that's my birthday. And number 18 case, when Jordan was picking the cases, number 18 was the $13 million case.
Wow.
Yeah. And I told her that beforehand. It's like, remember my birthday that's had the big numbers in it, go for it. But of course she was going to pick something that meant something to her. So
also try to be yourself, especially in your confessionals. Be yourself, have fun, but be very outgoing in your confessionals because that makes production like you a lot more. And don't wait till the last minute to do your challenges. Do them at the beginning. And if you have time, start going and playing puzzles. Go find puzzles to do rotations on. Put together puzzles because puzzles always come up on an org.
Jigsaw puzzles always come up in orgs. Slider puzzles always come up on orgs. Do you remember Ethan's reaction when we had the slider puzzle? And I was like, do. I was done in like 15 seconds. And Ethan was like, what the actual hell happened here? He was dying on that one.
And if you're playing one where you get punishments, just accept it. Have fun with it.
Picross does come up on orgs once in a while. You'll see Sudoku come up quite often. And they're doing the really good hosts. I don't know who's hosting the one you're playing, but they come up with a lot of original puzzles, different puzzle type challenges. Yeah. Or I'd be pulling out game shows for shows like any of the word ones, like what's the one where lingo is one of them?
Yes. Yes.
The one where's the one where you connect the words?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it though. Yeah.
Where you have to connect the words. There's like usually 7 or 9 words or something like that. I'm
horrible with that one.
So look for game shows that have word originations, because they do a lot of word things where they scramble and stuff like that.
Somebody asked earlier, I'm trying to find the comment. What is sequester?
What is sequester? Sequester was produced by Audrey Middleton. Like she had this in her head before she went into the Big Brother house in BB17. But when she got out of the house is when she put pen to paper and put this together. And the only thing I can really compare it to is if you've ever watched The Genius on Korean TV. Okay. And actually The Genius is returning on in UK. So it's going to be an English version and I'm beside myself. But anyway, so it's unique challenges. It changes every single round in that there are punishments. There is immunity to challenge winners, but that can be taken away. And it can chain reaction. Thank you, Joseph. That's what I was trying to think of. Chain reaction. But I mean, where literally everybody might have to point at somebody and that person's going to be out of the game. So sequester is difficult.
For our first season, we found out who the cast was, but we were each told, if you talk to anyone else on the cast, you're out.
Yep.
And if you turn somebody in for talking to you when you're not supposed to, you'll get a surprise. You'll get compensation for turning somebody in for breaking the rules. So none of us broke the rules.
No.
And
none of us did.
We were only allowed to talk to each other for 2 hours a night.
Yep.
Live in chat rooms. And we would have maybe 7 chat rooms we could go to.
Yep.
But none of us knew which room the other people were in.
Right.
And then there would be limitations on how many of us could be in a room at a time.
Yep.
So this room might have a limit of 3 people. Well, if Kim was in an alliance with 2 people and they were all 3 in a room and any of the rest of us came in, they had to either volunteer to leave or we had to leave.
Yep.
So it made it very difficult to be able to talk to someone or strategize. But the most fucked up thing about this game is it's live. Everyone's watching it on Twitter, but then people are watching it and intentionally tweeting out stuff that is not true.
Absolutely.
Because they knew that we were going to go and read Twitter afterwards to try to find out what was going on. And you didn't know if you were believing things you were reading or if it was a lie.
Yep. Twitter was brutal for sequester. But do you remember Twitter also determined prizes? And Audrey had some sponsors and there were prizes, candles, and just different, not
Teeth
anything huge.
Yeah.
Huh?
A teeth whitening kit, I think.
A teeth whitening kit, things like that. But they also were doling out the punishments. So, for example, Mackenzie, somewhere in my archives, I know that I've got you with peanut butter all over your face. And when you're sitting there in front of your camera for a couple hours and you're sweating, and next thing you know, there's globs of peanut butter dropping off the ends of the end of Mackenzie's nose, stuff like that. So they doled out the punishments, and the only time I got a punishment, it wasn't my punishment. The punishment was Ethan. That Ethan had to be chained to somebody. So in other words, Ethan cannot, there's Mackenzie with her peanut butter. So Ethan could not go into a room or anything without me. Okay. We were chained to each other. And that was one of the 2 times that I could have been voted out. And poor Ethan could not go to everybody and say, vote her out. Oh, there's your cotton balls.
Yep.
Ethan could not say to anybody, we've got to get rid of Kim now or she's going to win the game.
Yep.
Could not say it, could not do it because I was with him the whole time. So that was one of the 2 times I could have potentially been voted out and was not. It was wild.
Yeah. Once in a lifetime thing. And, it went from the online version then to, and I put the link in the chat for everyone. Audrey started doing YouTube shows and had it produced. It's very professional looking, great to watch. But Josh, that's where I met Josh, because Josh was on production for Sequester. And then I joined production after that. And, that's how Josh and I met, and rest is history. And Kim and I never were aligned.
Never.
Because we were always in different rooms, or I was always in I think one night I had to dance in place, or I had to dance the entire night, no matter what I was doing.
Yes. Yes.
Another night I had peanut butter on my face. And then another night I had to sing. So, hi, Kim, how are you doing today?
And as you can tell, okay, Mackenzie and I, not aligned. I had nothing bad to say about her. We just were not.
We never got to chat.
I had my alliance. I had Michael and I had Natasha.
Yep.
And that was my alliance. And he was going to turn on me. And I flipped him back over. But, it was incredible. But here's the thing. Don't hate the people that you're playing with. Okay. Because I would say 98% of the time, they are incredible people. And you either just haven't gotten to know them, you were aligned with other people, so your games were not crossing. And it's even the same with Deal or No Deal Island.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in touch with every single person, including Rob.
Yep.
Okay. And in fact, we're having a reunion. I think we're getting together at the end of January, right before season 2 launches. Hopefully Vegas. I think we're doing Vegas, possibly Nashville. But really, there's only one person that I played with that I'm not in touch with, and that's because she has so many projects going on, and that's Claudia. And I would never wish anything bad on Claudia. But we really don't have a lot in common. You know, she's got the whole Hollywood thing going, and she's had a couple movies now since then. And she had College Hill that she was on. You know, so she's been incredibly busy, and now she's very busy politically and getting people to register to vote and things like that. So, you know, we just don't have a lot in common with a lot of those things. So therefore, you know, I'm kind of a one and done. I don't expect to be on another show at any point. And
I disagree. I think you'll be on Traders.
Huh?
I disagree. I think you'll be on Traders.
Never know. Never know. I don't know. Our non-compete is up in November, but we're allowed to start applying for shows now. I don't know about Traders, possibly, but I'm not too sure that when I look at the dynamics of the cast and who knows what we've got coming up in season 2, I've already told them, they've already asked me, would you come back for an all-star season?
Yeah.
And I told them only if you have it in like the next 2 years, because after that, God knows if I would even be able to do it.
Yeah.
You know, physically able to do it.
Joseph, both wants to know, that's not bad when you're
No.
Would you apply for Big Brother?
Actually, Joseph, it's not a 1-year non-compete. It's 6 months from the finale. So the finale was in May. So technically I could film something as early as November, and they allow kind of 6 weeks or so. NBC has the shortest non-compete because ours is 6 months. Netflix is 1 year from the finale, and CBS is 2 years from their finale. So we've got the shortest one for sure. But NBC is also coming on strong with the reality shows when you look at what they've got out there. If you guys, but CBS is still coming on strong. And, you know, aside from the standbys with Big Brother and Survivor and The Amazing Race, you guys, I have seen the full episode 1 of The Summit. Okay. Tyson from Survivor had a watch party last Thursday night that I went to, and it is so good. Okay. It's a 90-minute episode, probably the first kind of 30 minutes or so explain the game and character introduction. But when I'm telling you that the Summit has some of the cutthroat moves are incredible that are coming up.
Yeah.
And so it's on Sunday night. I would tell everybody, you got to watch the Summit and watch it all the way to the end. Don't think it's boring for the first half hour. Just know that they're giving you backstories. Okay. And would I apply for Big Brother? In a heartbeat. I would love to. I have not applied for Big Brother since BB13. So would I? Absolutely, I would. Would I get cast for it? Probably not. Just because CBS doesn't, they've gotten a little bitter about NBC pulling from the CBS shows. And from a marketing standpoint, I think that they did a good job with that. Okay. I wasn't happy to see Rob, but from a marketing perspective, if he was out the first episode, I'd say 60% would have gone well. You know, the Rob mob would have not been pleased. But then again, the summit is all new people. There's no CBS people on it. And it is amazing. Episode 1, you're going to see a very clear-cut villain or two. Okay. You're going to have the emotional people. You're going to see it. It's really, and the cinematography of it with where they're at in New Zealand is spectacular.
Yeah.
So I would encourage everybody. I probably shouldn't be promoting a CBS show, but it is worth it. Watch it, enjoy it. And I've already told Tyson he needs to have a binge watch party because he's got episodes 2, 3, and 4. And I said, I'm like, Tyson, you got to have a binge for those of us that already saw one. We'll see, maybe.
And a quick thing for Sequester, go back to that real quick, is our season, was it 2 or 3 winner? Tiffany Russo. She won Sequester Access, and then she went on to compete in Big Brother that following summer. And so she was on.
Oh, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiffany Russo, because
Vanessa's sister.
Vanessa had played with Audrey.
Yep.
And Tiffany hadn't been on anything. Tiffany was going to law school. She won the long version at night that originally Mackenzie and I played in. And then she turned around, she was cast for it. Ovi used to talk about watching Sequester constantly when he was in the BB house. He loved Sequester, and that's before he was ever cast. But would I play? You know what? I probably, I don't know. We'll have to see. Never say never. But I have not applied since 13, so we'll have to see. Let's see what next summer holds.
I want to show this is our draft picks updates right now.
Stephen!
So, Stephen, unfortunately, has lost all of his draft picks.
Yep.
Josh is in the best position. He still has Chemo, Rubina, and Cam, all of which are boring and have done nothing. I have Mackenzie, and Frank has Chelsea left. So, based off of that, Kim, who do you think is going to win out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
I think, to be honest with you, I think Josh will. I think Josh is going to win it with Cam. Because I think it's going to be Cam and Chemo at the end.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I wish that was not the case.
Same here. I don't, if either one of them wins, I don't think it's what I would call one of the better winners ever of Big Brother. In fact, I'd probably make it a bottom 5 as far as gameplay.
Well, you and I were sitting in the chat you were in the chat talking weeks ago when we were on, and we were talking about no one is strategizing. No one is playing a long game. They're just very short-sighted on get this person out, get this person out. You know?
Yep.
And for me, for Big Brother, you have to be playing 4 or 5 moves ahead.
Absolutely. You know? You have to play for the short term, but you have to look at the long-term game.
Yeah.
You have to. And when I'm saying that, because you've got to set your alliances now in the short game, but you have to build your alliances for the long game. You have to play for that HOH or that POV in the short game to be able to make moves that you can then call your own in the long game. And nobody this season is combining that at all. at all. And I can't even, I mean, I can include Angela in that because she and Chemo, to be honest with you, have not had an opportunity really to play the long game other than setting up alliances, which Angela has. But Chemo had Ticor and Rubina. That was his alliances, period. Nobody else. So he was never looking beyond next week. And
and Tucker.
And Tucker. While Tucker was there. Yeah. I do miss Tucker. He was
I do too. He was fun.
Yeah.
That was the most wild, unhinged interview I've ever done in my entire life. But he just didn't give a fuck. He was there. He's like the ADD child that wants something to do, is bored out of his mind, and he's like boiling spaghetti, and he's like, let's take this and throw it at the wall and see if it sticks.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. It's like, you know what? I think I'm going to play my veto on Angela. Was there any strategy behind that?
Nope.
Honestly, I think the only strategy was that Angela would then probably show some loyalty to him. I think that was really the only strategy he had with that. He did it to shake up the house. He did it to stir the shit. And it worked.
I mean, when you got, to me, with the equitable comps and all of this other stuff, you're losing old school Big Brother.
Oh, 100%. But I do appreciate the equitable comps. But it also makes them very easy to throw. Looking at, 10 hours with the marshmallow sticks, but that came off BBOTT.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would still consider that old school. But for the most part, there were so many that were thrown.
Yes. And I feel like if they're going to, if you're going to have equitable comps, you should keep the first episode twist where Chelsea and Cedric were not able to vote that week. They were just cheerleaders. You should have that as a challenge every single week. The first two people to drop out are have-nots. They don't have a vote, and they are just sitting on the sidelines.
Exactly.
Because then people are going to drop.
But with it being so equitable, why have we not seen a Chemo win? Why have we not seen a Rubina win?
Yep.
Why did we never see a Ticor? We saw one Ticor win. That was it. And with them being much more equitable, unfortunately, quite a few people threw them. Personally, I don't mind having have-nots, but they do it so sporadically that it's not really a punishment. It's like, oh, is there have-nots this week or not? Well, we don't know.
No, my turn this week.
Yeah. But the one thing I don't like about have-nots is it makes people so lethargic because yes, they're getting the protein from the protein powder, from the slop, all that stuff. But I used to love it when they had the America's vote, and it's like, do you want to give them squid and sprees or licorice and lava cake? I mean,
bring that shit back.
They used to, and they would be outside in the backyard and walk in, and here'd be the table in the middle of the dining room covered in whatever food it was. One time it was cereal and might have been cereal and squid together. I don't remember.
Was it cereal and buttermilk at one point, wasn't it?
I don't remember buttermilk at all.
Yeah, buttermilk one time because somebody took a swig of it and spit it out and was like, oh my God, it's sour. And they're like, that's the point of buttermilk.
That could be, but they always, and I haven't seen anybody this season have chocolate milk, but chocolate milk was always on the list.
Yeah. We need those old school comps like that back. And I also want Pandora's Box to come back.
You know what? I was never a fan of Pandora's Box because Natalie Martinez got it. Remember, she got the twist tie engagement ring.
Yes.
Um,
Oh my God, yes.
the only time I thought it was funny was when Rachel Riley had to do exercises with Jesse. That one I thought was hysterical. Oh, no, I did like the one when Kevin had Pandora's box
Yes.
and they dropped all the money in the backyard. And
Okay.
and he had to watch them all gathering up cash while he's stuck in Pandora's box.
What was your thought on Janky's World?
I think that it could have been effective for about 3 days, maybe 4 days. I think that it accomplished what they wanted because it made them crazy having to dance and sing. And then we're going to do a conga line. Make sure you cha-cha-cha in it. And
Go get your pizza.
got to eat your pizza and your ice cream. But at the same time, I'm going, pizza and ice cream in a pizza oven in the backyard is not really a punishment. It really isn't, unless you hate pizza.
Brandon was being evil. She was pissed that boy toy Tucker was sent home and Tucker was cats because he made the women and the gays thirsty as fuck.
Well, kind of true. That is kind of true. I think Tucker would have had a great time in Janky's World.
Oh, he would have had a blast.
Oh, he would have had so much fun.
He would have been climbing up the walls.
But look at how it affected T-Core. Okay. She was miserable. And
Yep.
I'm sorry, it was 100 degrees, over 100 degrees the week before. That week it was in the 90s, 80s, 90s. It was hot, but God, they exaggerate. And I know they had AstroTurf back there, so it feels hotter than it is, that ground is hot. Get your ass in. You got a swimming pool right there. Get your ass in the swimming pool. You've got a shower right there. Get in the shower. If you're that hot, jump in the shower. Yeah, I mean, go have a bowl of ice cream. Even if
hold
Jake
your cot over to the side underneath the little, the overhangs with the, the cover.
Yeah.
Get out of the cement.
And we saw what happened with that with Mackenzie and Cam and Chelsea. That was Cotgate that night. That was, oh my God. But yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be jealous, at least, hide it a little bit. Or just come out and be just straight up just a bitch about it. Don't be wishy-washy.
See, and you know what I think would have been an absolutely amazing HOH in the backyard, based on what Joseph is saying here, right? Everything you wanted as a kid to do as an adult, right? Do you remember the HOH with Chima when they were in the swings, right? The big giant swings, and they were getting smacked with a diploma? That swing ride would have been the perfect comp for Janky's World.
It would have been.
And then they could have thrown up and had their pizza and ice cream, and it would have been just like you were at the state fair, smack them upside the head with, I don't know what, a big microchip.
Yeah. What was your thoughts about the AI arena?
I want to see it again. I actually really, week one, I was like, okay, this is stupid. I can't believe people are having 2 chances, but it shook stuff up and it made every week's vote almost like, especially the first couple weeks, almost like a double eviction.
Yeah.
Because as a viewer, we did not know for sure who was going. We got blindsided a few times, and we haven't been blindsided by a vote in years.
Yeah.
Everything's always been so
plus years.
I mean, it literally has been so predictable every year. And so I think that the AI arena shook that up, and it did it way better than Battle of the Block, which I thought was horrible.
Oh yeah.
But this really did shake it up, and it forced them to play strategically. How many times have you ever heard anybody volunteer to go on the block, but they were willing to do it at the beginning, knowing that they've got 2 chances to come off, and one with no replacement, the POV with a replacement nom?
Yeah.
So, if you're feeling like you're in trouble, probably not a bad idea to volunteer to go on the block. But then there were the other ones that it's like the HOH is nominating their own allies, that I was like, or their own allies volunteering.
Yeah.
Hasn't really happened.
Never volunteer for the damn block.
Pawns go home. Hello. And really, the last time you saw allies on the block was Nokomis and Marvin coming up with the backdoor plan, where you are deliberately putting your allies on the block.
Yep.
But keeping in mind, there was no luck of the draw back then. You were naming, you were picking who was going to play for veto.
Yep.
So that's why it was a 6-finger plan. HOH, nominate your 2 allies up. All 3 of you pick the remaining 3 that are going to play for veto. Now you're guaranteed your alliance wins veto. And backdoors, there's the back door. Backdoors the person who is not in your alliance, who didn't get to play for veto. And people don't understand that is what a backdoor is. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Dr. Will is rumored to be on Deal or No Deal Island season 2.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
He's rumored. So, so is Parvati. So is David from Survivor Australia. Oh my God. And I love him. If he's on there, there will be bloodshed. Okay. But now what I don't like about this is right now, as we speak, they're filming Australia versus the world.
Oh, really?
Who's playing in it? David for Australia and Parvati for the world. They just spent 3 weeks together in Panama. You don't think that and knowing that, and trust me, if people like Tony that was cast, if they saw that stuff, which they did, okay, are you going to let David and Parvati both make merge? Not only no, but hell no.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, there's rumors that Rob is in there. I don't know. I mean, that Rob went back to Panama. Is he playing the game? I can only give you my speculation. My speculation is Rob is not playing the game. He cheated the first time around. He doesn't deserve to play the game again without, going to church and crossing himself and saying penance and 20 Hail Marys. But
well, he goes to church and then the pastor said, "The devil's with us today."
Saria's confirmed. Yeah, for Australia. Yeah, she is. But so what role would that leave? There's people saying, well, I think Rob might be the banker. I don't think Rob is the banker. Howie is the banker. Howie will always be the banker. But I could see Rob being the banker's representative and being there at the finale. And I don't know why my mind would go here or anything.
Maybe
for some reason, I can see it.
Gets the cases.
Huh?
Maybe he's the guy that gets the cases.
No, that's Kamari and Ben again. But no, he's not going to be a case model. Rob would never do it, but maybe once. But I think Rob and Aaron. Do you remember Fantasy Island?
Yes.
Mr. Rourke and Tattoo?
Yeah.
I think that's Rob and Aaron. I think he's the banker's representative and his sidekick.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, Wednesday shows are done. Sunday shows at 10:30 because it's on after 90-minute summit.
And we've only got, 2 weeks left. So
We're at final 5 right now.
I know. That's crazy, crazy, crazy.
I know. So
we have enjoyed having you. You got any other thoughts that you want to share about what's been going on?
No, just that Chelsea has herself positioned really well unless these people start to think of themselves. Okay.
It's her game to lose.
100%. Because 2 and Chelsea. She's sitting in the middle. Yeah.
Chelsea, and if they get Chelsea out, it's Mackenzie's game to lose. If
Absolutely.
they get rid of Mackenzie, then
personally,
congrats, Cam.
If Chelsea can't play in the next HOH, Mackenzie can, but I would love to see Mackenzie lose.
Yeah. I would love to see a Chemo or Rubina win.
I would love to see Chemo or Rubina because they would have to do something.
Yeah.
They personally, I'd put up Chelsea and Mackenzie. And if Cam wins and takes one of them down, unfortunately, that means either Chemo or Rubina goes up. But I don't think the odds of that are great.
But then that would make Cam have to pick between those two. And whoever he doesn't pick is going to get pissed off. And then that's just another, again, jury management. So.
Although it'd be interesting to hear Chelsea's take on it. If Chelsea goes to jury next, I would love to hear her explain it away because right now she is positioned to win.
Yeah. And I mean, it's 3 against 2 right now, so.
Exactly. And she's sitting in the middle of the 2 twos.
And Kenzie also is, saying that she started seeing some of Chelsea's lies and stuff. So
that's what I said. She was waking up a little bit, but she
woke up a little too late.
She's adding 2 and 2 together and getting 7. She's got the 2 and 2. She just isn't doing it right. And this is what happens when you've got people that don't know the game, because she doesn't. She was recruited. She even said
3 weeks ago, she was saying, I wonder if there's any alliances.
I what?
She said 3 and 4 weeks ago, I wonder if there's any alliances going on right now.
Yeah. But she even said last week, she said, I don't think I was cast to really play the game. I think I was cast as a showman's.
Well, that lasted a week.
Yeah. Not even.
That lasted a week, and now your showman's is out here making us all gag at his cringe TikTok.
Cringe and talking about that was the worst HOH ever. Accurate, but if you're holding out hopes to get together with this girl, you might not want to be putting that out there on Instagram.
Yeah. Kim, where can people find you?
You know what? I'm at Kim Mattina. Kim Mattina on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is Kim Mattina. And TikTok, even though I don't tick and I don't talk much, still it's at Kim Mattina. my tick and talk are broken.
And you can follow us, the Couch Potato Queens, on Twitter, Couch Potato Queens, Instagram, same on your screen. If you've not already, share, and subscribe to our channel. Once the show ends tonight, if you will, just stick around a second, click like, and just make a quick comment for us because it helps us out in our algorithm so much.
Absolutely. Get on there and like it. And Mackenzie, thank you so much for asking me to join you. I had so much fun. Joseph, Sophie, I'm just kind of scrolling up to see who else. Thank
Joseph.
you guys
Thanks
for
again, Kim, for
all the
hopping on with us to
comments.
talk. Thanks, and give us an update on your game life. So they really enjoyed you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
Stephen,
Joseph Sophie. Joseph
Stephen, if
Collins.
you're still on here, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, all of you guys, for jumping in here, because the fans of the show, Shannon is another one. The fans of the show, you guys are what makes it. You're asking questions and jumping in there and making your opinions and saying, Kim, you're full of shit kind of stuff, or Mackenzie, Queen, love it. So thank you again for the
We want you to
viewers.
disagree with us. We're not right. It's just our opinions.
Yeah.
And opinions are like assholes. We all have one. Thank you again,
Yeah.
Joseph Collins, for your super chat earlier tonight. We appreciate your support. And you can all find me on Twitter at Kinsey_reality, or you can find me on Instagram at KinseyJoe205 or the Tiki Talkie. Although I don't post on Tiki Talkie, I just scroll.
Tiki Talkie.
Yeah.
I
But
love
Kim,
it.
we had so much fun with you tonight. You're welcome back anytime, and we
Oh,
will
thank
see you
you.
all soon. Have fun weeks.
Deuces.
Stay
Good night,
on the
everyone.
coast. Stay safe in Florida. The hurricane's coming through.
Yes.
Please be safe. We love you guys.